Good evening, all. You all may take your seats. Parents, NHS inductees and members, faculty, staff, and the Honorable Harris P. Murphy. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 Gunston School Chapter of the National Honor Society. We offer special congratulations today to our inductees for meeting the national criteria for membership in scholarship, leadership, service, and character. At this time, let us welcome our headmaster, Mr. John Lewis, to the podium.
It's been a while since I've done this at the podium. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to the National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. It is just so nice to have a live ceremony and on what is the most beautiful night of the year. It's just such a gorgeous night. I also want to congratulate all of our Annapolis families for having braved the traffic. The Bay Bridge was really backed up today, so we're glad that you're here as well. Student inductees, tonight is an enormous honor, and I know this is a very proud night for you. I know it's also a very proud night for your family and friends. They've watched your commitment and your dedication throughout the years, and they have been there to support you along the way. Please take a minute at some point this evening and offer your gratitude to them. I want to also offer a few brief thank yous in advance. As our National Honor Society advisor, Mr. Kaler does a great job of organizing the selection committee and this ceremony, especially in these trying circumstances. I'd also like to thank Mr. Weening, Mrs. Grabus, and Ms. Skull, who helped to finalize and coordinate so many of today's details. Please give them a big hand. I know that Mr. Kaler is going to offer a few more thank yous at the end, so my list is not exhaustive. As I was thinking about what to say this evening, I realized it has been a very remarkably long time since I have made a live speech of any kind. And for weeks now, I've been thinking about what to say, and truth be told, I have been a little stuck. What I promised myself, and what I promise you, is that my remarks will not mention at all what my 82-year-old and now slightly hard of hearing father calls COVID-19. I keep saying, Dad, it's not COVID. But as I promised you, I'm actually not going to say the name. So when I get stuck, I typically look in a few familiar places for inspiration. I scan my bookshelf, I read the news, I walk around campus, I search my own memory. And last Wednesday, I finally found what I was looking for in the obituary section of the New York Times. So as I was reading the obituaries that morning, I looked up to my wife, who, by the way, for the purposes of this story, is a very, very nice person and who rarely offers a negative word about anyone. And I said to her, "Sweetie, Bernie Madoff died." To which she replied, "Good riddance." At that moment, both of my children, somewhat shocked, looked up from their Rice Krispie bowls, clearly startled by their gentle mother's comment, and said, "Dad, who is Bernie Madoff?" I said, "Well, Bernie Madoff is the crook who is responsible for running the largest Ponzi scheme in financial history." Their looks immediately revealed to me that when you say the word Ponzi scheme to two children under the age of 14, you need to offer a little bit more explanation. And so I gave them a quick definition of what a Ponzi scheme is. I said, "Here's how it works. I would give you money, you would give me money, and I would promise to invest it with the idea that you would get your original money back plus whatever extra money you get that is invested. Except I don't do that. I go to your sister, for instance, and I tell her the exact same thing, except that instead of investing her money, I just give her money to you. And then I get another person to invest, and then I take that person's money and I give a little bit to her and a little bit to you, and on it goes. So what happened, my daughter asked, somewhat insightfully, I thought. I was grateful that she figured this out. When you run out of people to give you money. And I said, that's the point. There is no more money. And the whole thing falls down like a house of cards. We also call Ponzi schemes pyramid schemes. $17.5 billion. That is billion with a B. That's how much people lost in the Madoff fraud. People lost their life savings, including a former Gunston teacher. The Holocaust survivor, Elie Wiesel, who wrote the novel Night, and Madoff was sent to prison for the rest of his life. I've always wondered, how could you live with yourself? If you ever want to watch this, there's actually an HBO special called Wizard of Lies, which dramatizes this for 2 hours. It's got Robert De Niro as Bernie Madoff. He actually does a pretty good job. It's very compelling. So why am I telling you the story of the greatest financial fraudster in financial history on the night of the National Honor Society induction? It's because when I read Madoff's obituary, I realized that he actually embodied 3 of the 4 values that we celebrate at tonight's ceremony. He was a scholar, by all accounts an excellent student who worked diligently throughout his academic career. He was, on the surface at any rate, dedicated to service. He gave major grants to universities, charities, and cancer research. And he was a leader. He was politically involved. He was a trustee at major universities, and he led an important financial association. The National Honor Society value he lacked, of course, was character. I speak about this tonight because induction into NHS is often seen, I think, it's my opinion, primarily as an academic achievement, with the other values perhaps being seen as sort of helpful, but subsidiary to earning good grades. But after reflecting on Madoff's passing, I've concluded that, at least for me, it is actually character that is the most important value of NHS, since the other values are rendered meaningless without it. As my mother used to say to me, this was usually after I had received a subpar report card, "Honey, it's more important to be a good person than a good student," although it doesn't hurt to be both. Madoff was eventually held accountable by our justice system, and the American justice system is actually a place where the values of National Honor Society are at the forefront of every day's work. Thus, it is with great pleasure that I introduce tonight's speaker, the Honorable Judge Harris Murphy of the Kent County Circuit Court. As a scholar, Judge Murphy is a graduate of Washington College, where he was the captain of their prestigious varsity lacrosse team, and the University of Baltimore Law School. While he spent time working in private practice, most of his career has been devoted to public service. First, as an assistant public defender for Kent and Queen Anne's County, where he offered legal services to those who could not afford it, and then as the state's attorney for Kent County, where he prosecuted individuals who violated the laws of the state of Maryland. Since 2017, he's been a judge on the Kent County Circuit Court, which is part of Maryland's 2nd Judicial Circuit. He has served on numerous professional boards and committees, And throughout the years, he's given his time to support youth lacrosse as both a coach and a referee. And actually, I was going to ask you a question. Is it harder to be a judge or a lacrosse referee? Okay, that's what I thought. So we are grateful to have him here tonight on this most special night for students and families. Judge Murphy, I know each of these students well, and I have personally taught many of them. They are deeply deserving of this honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Judge Harris Murphy.
Good evening. I'm about to complete that biography, which reminds me of a story that said that it doesn't really matter where you go to school. It matters where the last place you go to school was. So, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here on this beautiful evening. I hope everybody can hear me all right. I'll get closer to the microphone. And I'd like to thank Mr. Lewis and Mrs. Grabus for inviting me to address you all. Although, as you'll hear in a moment, I did warn them that I might not be the best person for this assignment. But they both told me that everything would be okay and that I could say whatever I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to take them up on that. And this may be a little out of place, although it picks up a little bit on what Mr. Lewis talked about. I'm going to talk about failing and falling. And I'm going to start with rugby and end with water skiing. My brother had a friend on his college lacrosse team who was this big athletic guy. He wasn't the best lacrosse player on the team. He didn't play a whole lot, but he was big and he was athletic. And the rugby team kept trying to get him to come play rugby also. Well, about midway through the year, when he hadn't played much on the lacrosse team, he decided he'd join them for a game. When he came back that evening, my brother and his roommates asked him how it went, and he said, "It was a spectacular blanking disaster. I got knocked out in the first 5 minutes, so I can't really tell you what happened, but I just started in the first rugby game I ever saw." And I feel a little bit like that this evening. This is the first National Honor Society event that I've ever participated in or been invited to. If I'm 100% honest with you, I didn't even know what it was when I was invited to give this address, and I had to look it up. It was so far off of my radar when I was your age that I had to go back and find out if it even existed at the time to see if I missed it or if it just wasn't even a thing yet. During my early academic career, the only groups that I qualified for admission to were detention and summer school, and I spent a lot of time in both. None of my teachers ever wondered if I'd be in the National Honor Society. They knew very well that I wouldn't be. And I put together what I now refer to euphemistically as a very diverse educational background. After 7th grade, I was politely asked not to return to the private school that I attended. And after 10th grade, I was not so politely excused from the second private school I attended. The public school that ultimately gave me a diploma, but only after I completed 12 book reports in the summer after my senior year, allowed me to go on to college, which then became a 6-year odyssey through 5 different institutions. So it is particularly impressive to someone like me that you all and your parents have the ability and the maturity and the dedication at a relatively young age to be able to display the characteristics that are honored by the National Honor Society. And again, I had to look these up. You all probably knew them: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Much like Mr. Lewis, when I was trying to figure out what to say tonight, and this started back, when was this originally scheduled? Back in November. When this started back in November, I didn't know what to say, so I was somewhat relieved when it was postponed. It gave me some time to put some thoughts together. But I kept coming back to the pillars, and I wasn't sure why initially, and the more I thought about them and the more I came back to them, I realized that obviously it's because they're important. But it's not for the reasons that you might think, and it was really 2 pillars that I kept coming back to, and it's the same thing that Mr. Lewis talked about. The characteristics that I thought were most important were leadership and character. And at the time that I was first invited, I was reading a book that talks about the college application industrial complex, where this environment has developed where students are so keen on building resumes and checking boxes and having accomplishments all with the sole objective of getting accepted into college, that they all sometimes lose focus on or sight of developing attributes that are much more elusive, much harder to define, much more difficult to quantify, but ultimately in life are more important. And these are character and leadership. Because they're not necessarily about achievement like good grades are or service is. They're a little different. They're not checking boxes. In fact, real character and true leadership, I think, can only really be obtained from what is learned through failure. And it reminded me of a quote that's attributed to everyone from Mark Twain to Ronald Reagan and 1,000 other famous people in between, which is good judgment is the result of experience, and experience is the result of bad judgment. So while it's obviously important to get good grades and to provide service, I think it is also critically important, and I would encourage you all to have the willingness and the courage to continue to try things that are new or different or not comfortable, to continue to take risks, to continue to fail. And I'm sure every one of you has already experienced this to some extent, but being a leader and having character is not always easy or comfortable, because it sometimes means acting alone or going against the crowd. And in some instances, it means falling flat on your face in front of the crowd. And that's what brings me back to water skiing, which I think is very fitting with the river in the background here. Learning to slalom ski was one of the most difficult things I ever did, and I'm sure anyone who's been engaged in some difficult physical or mental activity knows that it can be humbling at times. With water skiing, you fall a lot, and you fail a lot. And one of the people who helped teach me how to do this said something that I always kept in mind, but I wasn't really sure why at the time, and then it kept coming up over and over again through the course of my life. So while we're here to celebrate your accomplishment, and it deserves to be celebrated, I hope that you always keep in mind the benefits of stretching yourself and not being afraid to fall or to fail. And what he said to me was, if you're not trying hard enough to fall, you're not really learning anything or getting any better. And I've always kept that in mind. So keep succeeding, keep achieving, but also keep falling. Thank you.
We will now have the lighting of the candles. First is scholarship. Lydia Pericone, yeah. Scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is a great element in life which leads to the highest success and can only be acquired in one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which read the past and illuminates the light for the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through opportunities inherent in scholarship. Service. Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of a day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. Willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or without recognition is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow. Leadership. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking initiative in class and school activities, a real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is a sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interest of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others would hesitate. No matter what power or resources may exist in a country, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a substantive charge to each of our members. Character. Character is the force within each individual which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each of us our individuality, and it is without it that no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is the force of character that guides one through life, and when developed, grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, striving daily to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be, in reality, what we wish to appear to be. We will now induct our new members.
Each inductee has met the qualification of scholarship by earning an academic honors every quarter and has a minimum GPA of 3.4 out of 4.0. As each inductee is called, I will review his or her qualifications in the areas of leadership and service. Sophia Angarita. Sophia has been involved in the student government during her time at Gunston and is now the club's vice president. She was selected to attend the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Seminar in grade 10. Sophia has also participated with the academic team, mock trial team, and language club. She received a gold medal for levels 3 and 4 on the National Spanish exam and was a part of the group of global volunteers who subtitled TED Talks, Expanding Access Across Languages and Borders. In addition, Sophia has served as an admissions ambassador and been a volunteer in her local library. Sophia has participated in soccer, tennis, futsal, and lacrosse. Lucy Bamford. Lucy is the 11th grade class president and the co-editor of the yearbook. She has been in a number of clubs, including the Environmental Club, Give Club, the Debate and Mock Trial team. She's also served as an admissions ambassador. Lucy spends time volunteering at Radcliffe Creek School and at Planned Parenthood. She's also a member of the varsity field hockey and basketball teams. Hannah Beckman. Hannah received the Claire Poussard Award for Outstanding Academic and Personal Growth in the first 3 years of high school. She is the co-leader of the Mental Health Awareness Club and is a member of the Yearbook, Culture and Language Club, and Student Diversity Leaders Club. Hannah has played on varsity field hockey and varsity lacrosse. In addition to serving as an admissions ambassador, Hannah spends a significant amount of time volunteering with the Carson Wentz Foundation in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Camp Arrowhead in Lewis, Delaware, Eagles Autism Awareness Challenge in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and as a tour guide with the historic Odessa Foundation in Odessa, Delaware. Maximilian Brady. Max is a co-captain of the Green Team. He is a member of several athletic teams here at Gunston, including varsity soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. He has been recognized as the most improved player in lacrosse, and he received the Sportsmanship Award in soccer. Max is a member of the Outing Club, Business Club, and Environmental Club. In grade 10, Max earned a gold medal in the National Spanish exam. Max has served the school as an admissions ambassador, and in the greater community, he has been a youth soccer coach. Gracie Callahan. Gracie earned a bronze medal on the National Spanish exam in grade 10. She's been on the varsity lacrosse team all 3 years at Gunston. In addition, Gracie has played soccer and tennis, and she serves competitively outside of school. Gracie has been a member of the Health and Nutrition Club and Yearbook. She's volunteered at the St. Mark's Preschool as a beach cleanup volunteer in Ocean City, Maryland, and with the Centerville Rotary Club. Jonathan Troy is unable to be in attendance, but was inducted in this year's National Honor Society. Charlotte Cook. Charlotte has been a Gunston Admissions Ambassador during her time at Gunston. In addition, she's been a member of the Environmental Club, Business Club, and Model UM. She received the Effortarian Award for all outstanding effort grades. Charlotte made all conference and received the Coaches Award her sophomore year soccer season. She also volunteers with Care Packs of Easton and Easton Middle School with the school's Martin Luther King Day programming. Ben Cunningham. Ben is the 11th grade vice president. He also plays on the soccer, basketball, and lacrosse teams. Ben has been involved in many clubs, such as the Science and Engineering Club, Health and Nutrition Club, and Business Club. Ben has played on varsity soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. Outside of school, Ben has played on a travel lacrosse team and volunteers with Buddy with Embrace in Dover, Delaware. Isabella De Leon. Isabella is a Gunston Admissions Ambassador and has been involved in the Science and Engineering Club, Yearbook, Business and Investment, Model UN, GIVE, Student Diversity Leaders Club, and the Math Club. She volunteers as an assistant at River Arts and Hope Warehouse. Bella has also supported the Heron Hustle, the Gunston Float for the Centerville Christmas Parade, and the Harry Potter Festival in Chestertown. Bella is on the crew team and participates in ballet outside of school. Ashley Escobar. Ashley received the Effortarian Award last year. She is the 11th grade class treasurer and a member of Model UN, Student Diversity Leaders Club, and Environmental Club. Ashley is on the soccer, futsal, and lacrosse teams. She earned the Most Improved Player Award in soccer in grade 9. She volunteers with Shore Wellness Solutions and youth basketball and Martin Luther King Day programming at Easton Middle School. Jimmy Frazier. Jimmy is a part of the Model UN and Business and Investment Club. He is a part of the varsity tennis team and golf team. Jimmy volunteers with the Trunk or Treat at St. Martin's Lutheran Church in Annapolis, Maryland, and Annapolis Immigration Justice Network dinner at St. Martin's Lutheran Church. Nina Friedman. Nina served as a class secretary in grade 9. She's also been a part of the Health and Nutrition Club, Outing Club, Environmental Club, and Give Club. Nina plays varsity field hockey and lacrosse at Gunston. Georgia Gillespie. Georgia earned a silver medal on the National Spanish exam in grade 10. She's a member of the Give Club, Yearbook Club, Environmental Outing Club, and the Health and Nutrition Club. She's a part of the cross country and lacrosse teams. Georgia was a participant in the Cycle for Survival in Washington, D.C. and Bethesda, Maryland. She volunteers for the Backpack Program in Chestertown, Maryland, and Compass Regional Hospice. She is also a lobbyist for the Alliance for Childhood Cancer. Evelyn Hagan. Evie spent her fall semester sophomore year at the Alzar School, where she volunteered as a trail groomer and a land surveyor. She was part of the Backpack Leadership Program, where she received an exemplary award for her work in the backcountry. Evie completed both Wilderness First Aid certification and Swift Water Safety certification. She's also volunteered with the Special Olympics. Here at Gunston, she serves as an admissions ambassador. She's also been a part of the tennis club and sailing team. She's a member of the Student Diversity Leaders Club, Environmental Club, Give, and Yearbook. Paige Holmes. In grade 10, Paige received a bronze medal on the National Spanish exam. Paige has been involved with the Give Club, Environmental Outing Club, Yearbook, and Health and Nutrition clubs on campus. She's a Gunston ambassador and on the varsity field hockey and lacrosse teams. In grade 9, she was named the Most Improved Player on the lacrosse team. Paige has spent time volunteering with Adapted Watershed in Nantucket, Echo Hill Outdoor School, and the Backpack Program of Kent County, and Cycle for Survival. Colin Lang. Colin is a member of the student government and has served as treasurer and president of his class. He's also been involved with the Business and Investment Club, Science and Engineering Club, and Model UM. He is a Boy Scout working towards becoming an Eagle Scout, and Missions Ambassador at Gunston. Colin has also served the greater community as a volunteer and acolyte with the Church of the Holy Trinity. Colin is on the varsity crew team and medaled in a number of events in both 9th and 10th grade. In addition, Colin participates in NSCA-sanctioned sporting clay tournaments. Eva Lawrence is also unable to be in attendance tonight. Samantha Lacrone. Samantha participated in Gunston's annual leadership program this past year. She's also a part of the Business Club, Model UN, Student Diversity Leaders Club, and Environmental Outing Club. Samantha participates in several athletic programs inside and out of Gunston, including crew and tennis at school, and the Eastern Surfing Association, and the Interscholastic Equestrian Association, and the Chesapeake Bay Horse Show Association. Samantha has placed in both riding and surfing competitions. She has served the greater community as a volunteer with the Centerville Food Pantry. Luke Lee will also not be in attendance tonight. Spencer Lee. Spencer is a part of the Math and Technology Club. He's also been a part of the crew team, basketball, and varsity tennis teams. This past year, Spencer was a volunteer with KDS Global LLC. Abigail Miller. Abby is a 2020 AP Scholar, has placed in second in the Eastern Shore Math Competition, and earned a gold medal on the National Spanish Exam 2 years in a row. She's the Math Club co-president and is also a member of the Business and Investment Club, Give Club, and Art Club. Abby was also entered in the Congressional Art Competition and Midshore Student Art Exhibition. Abby has served the greater community as a volunteer with the Special Olympics. She plays varsity basketball and varsity lacrosse. Magdalena Miller. Maggie is a volunteer with the Maryland Special Olympics. She was also entered in the Congressional Art Competition and Midshore Student Exhibition. Maggie took part in the University of Maryland's Data Analysis Summer Program and was an AP Scholar this past year. In addition, she has earned both a silver and gold medal on the National Spanish Exam. She's the Math Club's co-president and part of the Business and Investment Club, Give Club, and Art Club. She also plays varsity basketball and lacrosse. Alexandra Norman. Lexi is a member of the varsity lacrosse, basketball, and field hockey teams. She is involved with multiple clubs, including Environmental Outing Club, Give Club, Student Diversity Leaders Club, Mental Health Awareness Club. She is an admissions ambassador and has volunteered with the Maryland Special Olympics and Backpack Program of Chestertown, Maryland. Ethan Nessel. Ethan was a National Merit Scholarship Commended Student recipient. He volunteers with the Queen Anne's County Public Library and takes part in the Science Club, Technology Club, the American Rocketry Challenge team, and the Red Glare Rocketry. Ethan is also a part of the tennis and sailing teams. Jack Pigman. Jack is the captain of the varsity crew team. He is a volunteer with the cleanup committee of Severna Park, Maryland. And at Gunston, he served as an admissions ambassador. He's a part of the Business and Investment Club and was the assistant business manager with the yearbook. Marion Riddle. Marion is the editor of the yearbook and the vice president of fundraising for the Gift Club. She is a branch leader with Sherwood Camp Lighthouse Lunches. Marion received the Coaches Award in varsity sailing and was the fall captain. She also plays varsity lacrosse. Marion is a camp counselor with Sherwood Forest Boys and Girls Camp and an intern with Brenda Schaefer Physical Therapy in Annapolis, Maryland. Sean Riley. Sean earned a silver medal on the National Latin Exam 2 years in a row and was a National Merit Scholarship Commended Student. He was the math team captain and led a peer tutoring program during COVID-19 distance learning in spring 2020. He is a 12th grade class treasurer and has participated on the academic team. He's been a part of Gunston Players annual production. Sean has been a member of the varsity sailing and cross-country teams. He has volunteered with a Benedictine monastery. Emily Ryan. Emily is the assistant captain of the Navy U16 girls team, ice hockey team, and was selected for Chesapeake Bay Hockey League All-Star team. She's also a member of the Navy ice hockey U18 girls elite team and the U18 boys team. Emily has also been a member of the Gunston crew team. She's volunteered with Maryland Special Olympics in Chestertown, Maryland, was a cat helper at Animal Welfare League in Centerville, Maryland, and a volunteer with Centerville Farmers Market. Summer Salos was inducted this year's National Honor Society, but will not be in attendance tonight. Leo Santaboni. Leo earned a silver medal on the National Latin exam in grade 9. Last year, Leo spent time doing independent work, learning to code in Python. He used data from Johns Hopkins University to graph COVID cases. He's a part of the Business and Investment Club. He also participates in soccer, futsal, and crew. In grade 9, he was named the most improved player in soccer and crew. Leo has volunteered as an admissions ambassador, and he helps with the Heron Hustle. Matthew Sharpless. Matthew participates in the Science and Engineering Club, the Technology Club, and the Business and Investment Club. He's a volunteer at the Neighborhood Service Center in Easton, Maryland, and at Tuckahoe State Park. Matthew participates in both cross-country and crew, and he has received the Coaches Award in both sports. Danielle Simmons. Danielle has earned both a gold and silver medal on the National Spanish exam. She is a National 4-H Shooting Sports Ambassador and a Triple Shots Sports Senior Club leader. She's been a part of the Science and Engineering Club, Yearbook Club, Give Club, and Math Club. Danielle is on the varsity basketball team and is a part of Jennifer's School of Dance outside of school, Triple Shots Shooting Sports Academy, and was selected for Maryland's 4-H state archery team. She spends time volunteering with the Kent School, the Kent County 4-H, and at Chino Farms in Chester Riverfield and the Chesterfield Research Station. Jude Smith. Jude is a part of the Environmental and Outing Club. He's an enthusiastic member of the lacrosse, basketball, and soccer teams and participates with lacrosse outside of school. Lillian Ward. Lily was selected for NHS in the fall of 2019, but was unable to be inducted due to her time spent at the Island School. Lily earned a bronze medal on the National Spanish exam and is an involved member of the SGA. She's been the class secretary in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. She's been a part of the Environmental Give and Student Diversity Leaders Club. Lily has been an admissions ambassador, a facilitator for Global Awareness Day, and she's volunteered outside of school with Oxford Kids Club. This past year, Lily has organized a blanket drive for Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital. All right, we will now begin pinning the inductees.
Let's have a hand for Aaron. She did a great job.
All NHS members and inductees, please rise and repeat after me. I pledge myself to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school and maintain and encourage the high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. You all may take your seats. And now for closing remarks, we have Mr. Kaler.
Thank you, Reagan. Well done. My beard all right? I'm practicing to be a character. I am very thankful for this evening and for the opportunity to celebrate and honor this remarkable group of students. I'm especially thankful that we've been able to inject a sense of normalcy into a year that has been anything but normal. I most particularly want to thank the people who put a great deal of time and effort into making an event like this so special. First to Mr. Lewis, Mrs. Gravis, and the administration and trustees for steering us through and keeping us to such a high standard during this difficult year. To Mr. Ernie Darling, Mr. Richard Spray for setting all of this up and then breaking it down again. To Mr. Weening, Ms. Vess, Mrs. Skull, Mr. Chafee, Ms. Hallmark, Ms. Connor, and Ms. Newell for the technical, artistic, and administrative support. Very special thanks to His Honor, Judge Murphy, for inspiring and encouraging us. Thank you. Finally, to the parents and families who have supported these students and instilled in them the dedication, the work ethic, the volunteerism to achieve this honor today. I thank you for entrusting them to us for these important and formative years. We will dismiss after standing and applauding the Gunston chapter of the National Honor Society. Please rise. Thank you. You're dismissed.